So it's a do-or-die match against Plymouth Argyle, with Carlisle needing to win to stay in the Football League and the game tied at 1-1. You're in goal for Carlisle when Carlisle are awarded a corner up the other end of the pitch, some 100 yards away. It's the 5th minute stoppage time. The ref has indicated this is the last play of the game. The stadium announcer even got on the PA and said, "We've got 4 minutes to save our football club." Jimmy Glass, what happens next?
It's a great question, Alex. Well framed. That's obviously that question is the one that people ask me and have asked me for the last 25 years. And I think most people in football know what happens next. The guy in red and black runs up the pitch and volleys in the winning goal and saves his football club from being relegated out of the Football League. The backstory of it is that I was there for 3 games on loan. I was a Swindon Town player. There was a bit of controversy because I'd been signed after the deadline.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So Scarborough, who went down because of the goal, who were our rivals at the time, the other side, the Pennines, they put in a complaint because I was there. They thought illegally, but actually they'd all voted. All the football clubs have voted. I think 92 of them have voted the year before that after the transfer deadline, if a goalkeeper gets injured, a club can sign another goalkeeper because it's a specialised position.
Mm.
So that's what happened. I scored a goal and kept him in the Football League. The reality of that situation probably started, if I'm truly honest, the story started, I'd say, some 20 years earlier when I was playing in the Cub Scouts.
I remember playing for the Cub Scouts.
The 4th Worcester Park Cub Scout pack. And it's my first ever experience of playing football for a team when they put me in goal first because I showed, promising goal. I was only about 7 years old. So it would have been 18 years earlier because I was 25 when I scored for Carlisle. And basically I played for a year for the Cubs, but then after a year for the Cubs, I went up front. And essentially throughout my entire career and definitely when I finished, I never knew if I was a goalkeeper or a centre forward.
Really?
In reality, that's the truth of my life and my football career. And when I say I never knew, I wasn't particularly brilliant at both or either, but it was something I really enjoyed. And I loved playing up front as much as I loved playing in goal. And my natural instincts of both kind of helped me to save goals and also score goals. So on that day, on the 8th of May 1999, when the ball fell to my right foot on the 6-yard line, for me there was only going to be one outcome because the day before in training I barely put my gloves on. I'd run around up front in the 5-a-sides and scored a hat-trick. And that was a general sort of picture of my young footballing career.
And at the time of recording this, we're coming up to 25 years, literally, to the day. How do you look back on it now, given the breadth of time? Do you look back on it fondly or otherwise?
It's a real mixed bag for me, this goal. My life, for various reasons, hasn't been plain sailing. And my football career especially, it's had quite a few ups and downs, more downs than ups in truth. I never really truly fulfilled my potential as a goalkeeper, which I was very aware of for a long time, and it's something I had to reflect on. After I stopped playing football, I had many years sat in my taxi to think about the game and what happened. When I initially stopped playing, I was quite bitter and resentful about the game and about the people in it. Mm. The goal was always there. It felt like an albatross.
Did it?
For a period. Certainly after I scored for a couple of years when my career started to struggle. Because on one hand, I'm this famous goal-scoring goalkeeper. It's in the 100 great sporting moments, the goal and things like that. But on the other hand, I couldn't seem to settle anywhere or get a game or a club that I wanted. And I was willing to to go down the leagues. I was willing to just play football, but it just didn't work out for me. So for many years, I kind of had mixed emotions towards the goal. On one hand, I enjoyed it because it was a fantastic moment. Who wouldn't? But on the other hand, in some ways, it kind of turned my career into a circus after I scored, and then ultimately a couple of years later, I'm out of football, and then realistically, I'm so far out of football within a short space of time, and stay for many years away from it. But then I'd still, even drive my taxi around Wimborne, where I have my taxi business, I'd still get calls from Sky who want to come and interview me about something, and they'd be sat in my taxi driving around the streets. It was a really strange existence for me. I'd be sat listening to the World Cup, and Brazil be playing Colombia, and next thing you know, a keeper runs up, and the commentator saying, "Oh, he's doing a Jimmy Glass."
What message do you hope to convey to those who've just listened to this?
I think this podcast is probably different to many others, because many other people have been successful, and they're talking about how they were successful. I think in some ways there's a huge part of my life that hasn't been successful, and it doesn't define you. Failure doesn't define you. You know, it should, if you look at it in the right way, if you manage your emotions, it should help you grow.
Yeah.
And the reality is, you know, it's a journey, isn't it? Life, it's, you know, you're growing all the time, and if you think life's bad, then it can change. But generally, it's a perception, and it's managing those emotions, and it's looking at some things in a different way. You know, sometimes you can look at something as a failure when actually it's just a lesson.
100%. Yeah.
You know, and to manage those emotions so that they don't get on top of you. And that's all I've tried to do, and all I'll continue to do, hopefully.
Yeah.
And at the end, when it's the last checkout, then you can sit back and you can maybe make a judgment. And you can say, what was my life about?
Yeah.
But while you're in it, you know, just keep going. And what's the saying? If you're going through hell, don't stop.
Absolutely. It's very true, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it's consistency wins the race, isn't it? Ultimately.